Hey everyone, Selwyn here from WynnStrength.com. We're wrapping up another week of training with the Average to Savage training program 2.0, written by Greg Nuckols over at StrongerByScience.com. I'll leave links below like usual for both the program and the website. Great resources, check it out. But this week is kind of different. We've actually reset the program in a way. Greg actually released a new set of updates which included a lot more iterations of the same program. So depending on your goals, you can kind of dial down what specifically you want to achieve, which I think is an amazing value proposition. It didn't cost any extra. He just kind of showed out the updates, so anyone that's already bought the program will get these updates, and you can choose different versions depending on your goals. So what I'm doing is, after the first 7 weeks, the first third of the program, I'm actually going to reset, and we're going to focus with the hypertrophy iteration of the program, which basically means we're going to be dropping the weight and increasing the reps, something that I haven't done in quite a long time. And I was kind of excited to see this new update, just because it's a lot more focused on volume over intensity, and it's something I've ignored obviously over the last couple of years as I focused on more strength-based training. So this will be a really cool change up to see what happens over the next 21 weeks. So we're kind of just resetting. I'm not going from week 8 onward. I'm just resetting back as if I'm starting the program brand new. Kind of goes against what I like to say is to stick with the program till the end. In my defense, it is the same program, just a different version of the program. So I'm going to let myself slide on that one. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I am really bad with high rep stuff, and I've really ignored a lot of that GPP conditioning style of the workouts for a significant amount of time. The last time I attempted something like this was doing Brian Alder's Dark Horse template that he puts out for free as well. That also gassed me out, so I'm hoping to build back up that base level of GPP, that base level of conditioning that I think every lifter can benefit from, just because from the research available that I've read, it is something that you should not ignore. I don't think cardio is a hindrance to strength. I think they go hand in hand and they support one another, just for the basic reason that when you have higher levels of cardio, you're able to work out for longer, and that's become strikingly clear with this new template. With this, it's not that much volume. So I'm talking about like 50 reps. We're talking about like sets of anywhere from like 8 to 15 reps, which isn't that high, to be honest with you. It's not like giant metabolic conditioning workouts where you're doing infinity reps. And even myself trying to keep up with that at significantly less weight that I'm used to doing, it's hard for me to keep up with this program. And it is just the first week, so there is a lot of adjustment that has to occur like any program. So I wasn't surprised by that, but I was more surprised by how taxing the workouts actually are, considering how light the weights are. And I even plugged in the same amount of 1 rep maxes that I put for the initial part of the program that I did for the last 7 weeks into here. So the weight prescription percentages are the same, based off of the same numbers, but the workload is significantly worse because of that higher volume that my body's just not accustomed to. So what I'll do is I'll throw over to some training footage over the course of the week so you can just see how bad this week was, but in a good way. So starting off with squats with the SS yoke bar, again, using that SS yoke bar to help with the shoulder injury pain management that I've experienced. So this will be the main squat movement. I'm not using a straight bar for regular back squats. We're really just doing them with the SS yoke barbell, and I've found that has been really good for the last couple of months. You'll see here with the extra reps, about half of them aren't hitting depth. They could probably go down maybe 2 to 3 more inches just to get that extra depth. I've been mistakenly thinking that when my elbows touch my thighs, that's when I hit depth, but apparently on the replay it's not. The good thing with this higher rep work is that it is training the core and the back to stay tighter as usual. And just with that SS yoke, the pitch of the weight, it is trying to pull you forward. So I do have to maintain a bit more of an upright back angle, which is why I tend to like these with a slightly narrower stance and some elevated squat shoes. I think that just helps with the form and my own comfort with the squat movement there. So if you're having issues with the SS yoke, try performing them with adjusting the stance and adjusting the shoes that you use. Moving on here to some low incline close grip bench press. Again, I've reduced the amount of flat bench pressing I'm doing, so most of the bench varieties will be incline to some degree. And then here we're just using the incline as well with the close grip to get that extended range of motion to hopefully get some more tricep activation and tricep stress, just to bring those triceps up, just to help both with the bench press but also with the overhead pressing movements. I am using some wrist wraps there just for a little bit more stability in the wrist. Here we have stiff-legged deadlifts. I switched over to this side angle here. I am using wraps as well, just because it is higher rep and we're in that upper range, and I feel like it just interferes with my training when I don't use the wraps. With the stiff-legged deadlift, I do like to deviate from my regular deadlift foot balance, where here I will focus on keeping the weight on the heels for the most part, where my toes are kind of wriggling off of the floor there. And I just, for my own personal movement pattern, it feels like I'm able to get more activation in the hamstrings and stay tighter in the lower back just for this one particular deadlift style. And here is the only flat bench variety that I'm doing for this training block, just with the Slingshot bench press. I do like the Slingshot, mainly as an accessory movement, but here, because it is, again, helping with that shoulder issue that I'm just kind of working around and training around, and it is helping me to overload that movement as well. So we're doing obviously more reps here, but with a heavier weight than usual. And I think that's going to be great for just driving some overload movement, especially since I'm not doing any other regular flat bench pressing movements for the training block. So might as well overload the one flat bench press we are doing. Check out the description below where I'll leave a link so you can grab your own Slingshot from the Mark Bell website. And here we have our regular deadlifts for the week, the conventional deadlifts. You'll notice that a lot of 3/4 reps here as well. There we're not really getting into full extension, and this was the last working set of the session. So there was a lot of fatigue setting in there and just not really staying focused on achieving that full lockout position. On some of the reps I am, and on some of the reps I'm not. Again, just showing that the conditioning is not the best and really need to work on that, because you do see not only in the fact that I'm not locking out, but the rest of the setup isn't as clean or as tight as it normally is. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out on. So I'll probably have to look at lowering the weights and making sure that I'm not trying to lift too heavy a weight too many times. That way we can get a proper stimulus, not really cheating ourselves out of some productive workouts rather than just, that wasn't really a rep at all. You can see the head craning back. It's just not a pretty set, but it is part of the process, I guess. And here we have, wrapping up, some high incline bench press. I just use the regular comfortable grip here, not too narrow, not too wide. And this is a good hybrid between both the overhead press and a bench press. Obviously more helpful for the overhead press. As you obviously get higher in that incline there, it's going to have more carryover just because you got that angle similarity. So that'll wrap up the first week of training under the new hypertrophy template, kind of week 8, but week 1 in essence. And we're going to actually see this to the end for the full 21 weeks of the program. I'm excited to see my body adapt to the new rep style, which I'm hoping will in turn lead to better progress in my strength as well. Not because higher reps are going to help you get stronger. You will eventually be lifting heavier weights with the same amount of reps, but to build that baseline of conditioning over the next 21 weeks, I think is going to be really good for that long-term strategy of building a solid baseline, attacking different goals over different seasons, not trying to do everything at once. So next 21 weeks, focusing on this lower weight, definitely higher volume style workout, and hopefully that'll not only lead to some good GPP conditioning improvements, but some good hypertrophy improvements. So we're going to really attack that hypertrophy conditioning side of things for the next 3 months. So make sure to subscribe to the playlist so you can check out the rest of the Average to Savage training vlogs and see what my final overall rating and review is of the program. This has been Selwyn from Wynn Strength, and remember, a better life through strength.